วัสดีค่ะ Hi everyone สวัสดีค่ะ วันนี้เนื่องจากว่าตาแห้งมากไม่สามารถใส่คอนแทคเลนส์ได้ เลยต้องใส่แว่นนะคะ สวัสดีค่ะสำหรับคนที่เข้ามาดูนะคะ วันนี้เราจะไลฟ์ให้กับ Miss Grand Canada วันนี้เราไลฟ์ให้กับ Miss Grand Canada มาดูว่าวิธีการตอบคำถามของ Miss Grand Canada จะเป็นอย่างไร ใครมีคำถามอะไรที่อยากจะให้ดินาถามก็พิมพ์เข้ามาได้นะคะ เพราะว่าดินาก็จะอ่านคำถามให้ถ้าแบบมีเวลานะคะ Hi, good evening from Thailand, everyone. So right now we are waiting for Miss Grand Canada 2020, and I'll just say that if you guys have any questions that you want me to specifically ask her, please type the comment. So I'll ask her if I see the question. Hi, my butterfly. How are you when you coming to see you? Where's that? So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. So there are 3 minutes left to meet Miss Grand Canada. So what is going to be the topic today? Let's see later. I'm quite excited actually to talk with her. She's like professional golf player because we follow on Instagram. So okay. I think she's here already for Miss Grand Canada. Okay, before we go into the interview with her, could you please tell me if my internet connection is good or not? Can you hear me perfectly? And how is my movement, the picture? Is everything good? Check. Okay, she sent me a request. Hi สวัสดีค่ะ
Samitika or Sawadi.
You know Thai word.
I've been practicing.
Please speak some Thai word, please. What did you say again?
Sawadi. That means hello.
สวัสดีค่ะ You say ค่ะ at the end of the sentence.
Okay, yeah, that means for a woman, right?
Yeah, สวัสดีค่ะ but if for men it says สวัสดีครับ so right now I'm gonna say to you สวัสดีค่ะ Miss Grand Canada 2020.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you too. How are you today?
I'm good. It's 5 in the morning where I'm from, so it's a little early. But I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, please introduce yourself to all the fans, please.
Hello, my name is Sarah Winter. I am 26 years old and I am Miss Grand Canada 2020. I'm from a very small town on Vancouver Island. So growing up, I've always been really close to my family and just very ambitious. And I'm now a golfer. I do social media influencing and I play in tournaments and I travel all over the States and all over the world. Just kind of growing the game, and it's been such a journey. It's been so much fun.
Okay, so hi again one more time to Miss Grand Canada 2020, Sarah. So my name is Lena, and what the first question today would be, what are you graduate from? Which bachelor?
So I went to university in Toronto and I did my Bachelor of Science. I had the ambition to go into med school or dentistry school, but while I was pursuing my undergrad, I started golfing. And I definitely pursued it a little bit later in life, but something in my gut was just telling me that it was my passion. Like I had to fulfill it. And I just knew that I would regret it if I didn't. And I'm all about like finding your passion, going after what you want, you know, taking risks. And it kind of made it more exciting that I was starting a little bit later. It was a challenge, and I just saw an opening for female because it's such a male-dominated sport. So,
come again, please. What did you open again?
It's a male-dominated sport, so it's more men than women that play golf. So it was a good chance for me to use my platform and just sort of grow the game and make it more desirable for the youth, because growing up, I didn't want to play it when I was younger. I found it kind of boring. So I think it's important to just keep it young and fun for everyone to enjoy.
That's nice of you. Um, you know, how, many people there, when they become beauty queens, they always have like things that they find that they want to do in the future for helping people. For you, what do you want to do in the future? Do you have any?
I would love to do a lot. I mean, I think when you're granted a title, it's not so much what the title can do for you, but what you can do with the title. So, I mean, I already have a platform, and I already try to use my social media with as much positivity that I can, because I think the world needs it right now. So if I was, what I would want to do with my title is just keep doing that, keep spreading positivity and happiness, and trying to leave everyone I meet or everywhere I go a little bit better than how I found it.
So, what things bring you become Miss Grand Canada?
You know, it was all sort of, it just kind of happened. I feel how it was supposed to be. I was in Toronto competing at a pageant, and I sort of just joined last minute, and it felt right, and I was so excited. And the whole time during the competition, I wasn't really worried about the outcome or the results. I was just enjoying the experience and having fun, and that's truly when I found success. Was when I was crowned Miss Grand Canada. It was the first pageant that I had ever won, and I think I won because I was fully okay with just being my authentic self the whole competition. And I think that's really important for a pageant, is to go in and not compare yourself to anyone else, and just know what you have to offer, and know that if it's meant to be, it'll be.
So throw back to the moment that you said your last minute join Miss Grand Canada. Is it the first beauty pageant that you joined, or you have joined any other before?
No, so I started when I was a teenager. I actually went to Korea for a modeling contract, and
Wow.
15 years old. So I started modeling at a very young age. And I had a pretty bad experience with my body while I was there. Not anything to do with Korea. I love Korea, but just me in that moment, I don't think it was meant to be. And I came home, and I really wanted to join a pageant because I saw it. It's the same, it's kind of similar to modeling, but it's more about what you want to do, and it's beauty with a purpose type of thing. Like, you have a platform, and it's not just taking photos, but there's so much more to beauty pageants. And I joined my first pageant as a teenager, and then my first international pageant was actually in Thailand.
Wow. Well, Thailand then. See you in March 22, right?
Yes,
Is the
I love Thailand. It's honestly one
Wow.
of my favorite places in the whole world. And I remember being in Thailand for that pageant and just thinking like, oh my gosh, I want to represent my country at a big pageant, like one of the top pageants in the world. And when I was in Thailand, that's sort of what sparked my interest to go after a bigger title. And now I'm going back as Miss Grand Canada. So it's sort of like a full circle.
Oh, it's really amazing for you. So back to the moment that you were decided to join and you were crowned as Miss Grand Canada. Is the thing that different after crowned or not?
No, I don't think so. I think the only thing was different is I was Miss Grand Canada, but I'm still the exact same, and my intentions are still the exact same, and what I want to do is still the exact same. I was doing everything that I wanted to do. I just didn't have the title yet. And I think that's important, that you're already ambitious and you're already trying to pursue those things, and the title just amplifies it. It just brings that little bit of extra. But you don't need a title to spread positivity or do charity work about something that you feel passionate about. Nobody needs a title to do that. We all should be doing that as human beings. But with a title, it definitely gives you the opportunity to have a bigger platform and reach more people. And I think that's the only difference.
So as you mentioned that you went to Korea and started doing modeling area, can you please tell us the difference between models and beauty queen? How is it different?
I think there's a lot of difference with modeling. Well, from what I remember, it's more about just taking a good photo. And I think now it's more about they're trying to show more of the model's personality. But back then, I would just go get my hair and makeup done, and then you're just shooting all day. Whereas pageants, it's always you have to be very glam and put together and well spoken and classy and hold yourself very confidently when you walk in a room. And
Mhm.
you have to be very well spoken and know about a lot of things. And there's so much more to these pageants than just looks, that's for sure.
Seems like you are more focused about being beauty queens that you are you concerned about being that well spoken
Am I
or you
concerned?
yeah.
No, I think everyone is well spoken. You just have to speak from the heart and just be
True.
confident in what you're saying. I don't think there's a right way, but if you are confident with what you're trying to say, I'm pretty sure that's well spoken.
Tell me about the best thing in Canada.
Ooh, there's so much. Have you ever been?
Now that's why I asked you.
Okay. So one of the best things I think is just how beautiful it is. The mountains, and I go on a lot of hikes. It is such a calming and relaxing environment walking through the trees, and when you get to the top it's an ocean and it's all blue with these huge mountains. It's hard to
Mhm.
describe. I feel like pictures don't do it justice, but definitely just some of the views here. It is so beautiful. You have to see for yourself. You can come visit anytime.
We're gonna dig it deeper. So, what's about the politics situations in Canada right now?
What is the politics situation?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always something going on. I think the US has struggled a little bit more, but Canada's not perfect. And I know we don't have a president, we have a prime minister. So it's a little bit of a different system. But I know personally we have a lot of things wrong with the Indigenous community. And it's something that I think is very important that we speak about because they basically built our land and we have this land because of them. So I think it's important that we speak about them and respect their culture and everything and their environment. But with politics, I mean, everyone has an opinion. So it's something that you have to understand. You can't agree with everyone. Everyone's going to have one side of it. But I think Canada's doing their best, but there's always room for improvement. There's always room to grow. I feel like it's normal that things can get better.
Mm-hmm. How about the educations in Canada?
Yeah, our education system is good in Canada. I think it could always be better. I would like to see personally the education system teach kids things that they can really use in their future, like how to budget or do your taxes. Because I know things like that. When I graduated, I didn't know how to do any of that. I think it's important that we use the education system to really educate us on what we're going to use in the future. But my sister is a teacher and she's in the education system. So I think there's a lot of positives as well. But the youth is our future, so we have to take good care of them.
Mm-hmm. Do you think educations are important or not for you?
Yes, I think something that we have in life is the power of education, the power to learn, the power to grow each day. I think
Mm-hmm.
education is so crucial for anyone to grow as a person and use it to find your purpose, like doctors or anything. I mean, all those things help the world be a better place. And I believe everyone has their purpose, and some of that lines with education. They go on and they become these amazing things, and some people find it elsewhere. But I also think it's something you shouldn't take for granted because not everyone gets that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. So having educations can lift up people's lives and also make the country become a better place. But there are students in this world, there are lack of education to reach a good opportunity to study. If you won the title of Miss International, how you can improve that to other students who lack of opportunity to get it?
So here in Canada, I actually go to elementary schools and I speak on the importance of goal setting. So I go and I talk to the kids about sort of just the power to believe in yourself. And I think it's really important to write down goals and go after them and have the courage to pursue them. So it's something that I really feel passionate about, and I go to these elementary schools and I do this little program with them where I make them write a short-term goal, a long-term goal, and then like a big dream. And just seeing how excited they get talking about these big dreams and these goals, it's really exciting. But at the same time, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and so many kids come from families or home lives where they're not getting the support to succeed at school. And it honestly breaks my heart so much that, you know, not everyone gets the same opportunities, and I realize that's not fair. So through golf, it's sort of part of my platform. I want to make sports more inclusive because I personally think that golf kept me out of so much trouble and it kept me grounded. And just having that opportunity to pursue my dream, I realize that not everyone gets that. So now it's my job to help other people get that opportunity because I was lucky enough to get it myself. So I look at it as, okay, if I get to pursue my dream and go after what I want, not everyone does. So I have to make it my job now to help others. And I think that's really important to just try to give everyone the same opportunities because, like you said, it's really unfair that people don't.
So when life is unfair for people around the world, you know, even we just talk about that, you know, everyone's just born as different quality of life. There are many children they don't even have nationality yet. They live off the board and many things. In Canada, do you have a kind of refugee or immigrants or not?
Yeah, so we do. I mean, I think Canada is known as a country that is super diverse, and it's a mix of all different cultures and religions and races. And I think that's something that makes Canada so beautiful is we are so accepting of others. But like I was already touching base on with the Aboriginal community, it's something that definitely needs to be worked on because there's so many issues with that. Back in the day, there was the residential schools, and it's honestly something that I was super unaware about, and I'm almost embarrassed to admit that it took me way longer than it should have to educate myself on this, and it's something that I hope we can talk about with the youth at school and educate them on how important it is because they deserve just so much respect, and it's very sad.
I didn't get it well, but there are refugee and immigrants in Canada. So these kids and these people, do they get the same life quality or opportunity as Canadian or not?
I think it depends. I think I can't speak for everyone because everyone's journey and everyone's situation is different. Some may, and unfortunately, some may not. And that's obviously something wrong. And that's something that we need to work on. Like we spoke about, giving everyone the equal opportunities because what you look like or where you come from shouldn't matter. And it should be about what you're trying to do with your life. It shouldn't matter where you're coming from, how old you are, who raised you, what you believe in. None of that should matter, and everyone should get the same opportunities. And I hope with this platform I can continue to open workshops across Canada, across the world on an international scale and give people these opportunities. If it's not sports, it's helping them find that education. I mean, I'll do anything. I'll work as hard as I can to give as many people the same opportunities because that's the way it should be. And if I can at least help one person, that's better than helping nobody.
This is actually interesting. But what about actually there's a question, but I don't want to ask you now. But I'm gonna forget the question that people ask. One question for Miss Grand Canada: how do you spread the war of violence if you win the title in Miss Grand International?
How would I spread the message to stop the war and violence? Is that okay? So I think it starts with spreading peace and spreading love and spreading positivity. And I think it's ambitious to say that one person necessarily could stop the war and violence, but one person can start a conversation about it, and one person can start raising awareness and opening people's eyes and talking about it. And I can start by educating the younger generations about it. And I think that's all I can do is I think when you're giving, say I was to win Miss Grand International, there's a huge spotlight on you. So the way I like to look at it is, how can I shine that light on other people? How can I use that spotlight that's on me and help other people around me instead of keeping on me? I want to use that and use it to my advantage to make an impact on as many people as I can. And if I was lucky enough to be able to travel the world, I want to try to leave every place I travel better than how I found it. And I think there's different situations in each place, but if you can open people's hearts and spread positivity and make them have hope, I think that's a very good start. And also just starting conversation about it, opening people's eyes, educating. It always goes back to education. We need to just make sure that people are aware that stuff like this is still happening, and we need to come together and spread love.
True. So now we're talking about the spread the message of war, of the violence. So what is the worst violence you've ever seen in your life?
You know, I was thinking about this, and I'm fortunate enough to say that I've never really experienced something in person. And I understand that I can't ever fully relate to somebody who has. So all I can do is educate myself on what's happening in the world, and that this is still happening, that there is still forms of violence going on, whether that be gender violence or any type of violence. You know, these issues are still happening in the world, and it's not right. And do I know the solution right now? No. But am I willing to stand up for the people who can't stand up for themselves? Absolutely. And I think that's all I can do, because yeah, I know that you could ask this question to 20 people and they would all have a different answer. Some people would have experienced violence firsthand, and some people will never be exposed to it. And that's a privilege that I've never been exposed to it. So I have to take that into account to help others that have. So I'm lucky enough to say that I actually haven't experienced any of that, and I haven't seen it. But if I was walking down the street and I saw some poor innocent person being robbed or mugged or hurt, I would definitely try to use my voice or call for help or stop it to whatever extent I could. Absolutely, because I think that that should not be tolerated. And I would hope that in that moment I could do something. I definitely wouldn't just walk away and watch it happen. I would at least call for help.
You know, in our society, even around the world, sometimes it happens, the situation like husband hurt wife in public, and people, they're afraid to help the wife because, you know, it's kind of related to personal things or family things. What do you think about
I think that's a fair thing to feel, because you see someone like that and you automatically don't feel safe. I think that's a human's first instinct, to see somebody use violence, and you kind of get scared because you're not sure what they're capable of. You're not sure in that moment what their intentions are. But I think you should at least call. You shouldn't leave the scene and let that go on. You should at least stay there and call for help. There's lots of like emergency lines that we can call, or, you know, there's usually lots of many people on the street, so maybe go in with somebody else. And I think that just comes with sticking together and communicating. And I understand why somebody wouldn't feel safe, so maybe don't run up right away and put yourself in the situation, but at least call for help and try not to walk away without knowing that somebody will get there. And, you know, we can't let these people get away with this, because it's not right.
yeah, that's kind of like real things that should be, like, we shouldn't walk away even it's kind of related to family violence or something. Agree?
Yeah, I think it would make, like, I think I would worry so much if I walked away. I don't think I could. I think it would stress me out. But I think it's important that we stay safe, because you can't just jump into something and not know really your surroundings. But at least, you know, we know that we can always call the emergency. So that's at least something we can do.
Can you see me?
Oh, sorry,
Sorry,
you
it's
just
bad
frozen.
connection.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah, you're frozen.
Okay,
Okay.
so we're talking about violence. Once again, can you see me?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see you, but I
Okay.
couldn't hear you.
Okay, is it perfect now? Can you see me and hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. So, many times we see the violence in the politics. Let's talk about the truth. In war, in many countries, we're not mentioning about the country names, but we know it's happened. Do you think the violence is really helpful or is useful or anyway? Why we would use the violence to stop something? Do you agree on that
I
or
think, do I agree on using violence? Is that the question?
yeah?
Okay. No, I definitely don't agree on using violence. I think violence would never stop violence. I think the only thing that can stop violence is communication. We have to, I think what happens is these situations get so blown out of control and they don't communicate and they just feel like their last result is to use violence. And that should never even be an option. You know, we shouldn't as humans think this is going to solve our problems if we fight these people. I don't understand it. And I know that could come off as naive, but I think the main thing we have is our voice. So if there's a problem, we should solve it with communication. I don't think that violence should ever even be an option because how is more violence going to stop a problem? It's never going to solve anything. And I think no, I don't think it's acceptable and I don't think it should even be an option. And no, I don't agree with it at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we've been talking enough about the violence. So let's back to the topic that you are. So, being a beauty queen, there are spotlights on you, as you mentioned, about people looking at you, there's an eye on you, and they think, wow, this is Miss Grand Canada. You're beautiful. What do you think about beauty? Can you please describe about it?
I think beauty comes from within. I think that's the first thing. And yes, that might come off cliche, but I think beauty comes from your heart and your intentions and how you wake up every morning and choose to be a nice, kind person. That's what makes you beautiful. Your confidence. Honestly, it took me a really long time to accept myself fully and love myself for who I am and not compare myself to people and feel like I need to change. With social media, I think there is such an unrealistic beauty standard set on us. And I think it's really important as a beauty queen to always be relatable and personable and make people feel like I have my bad days as well. I wake up sometimes and I don't feel like getting out of bed. I'm not motivated. This is all just makeup. This comes off every night. And I think it's important to remember that beauty will forever, it will always come from within, no matter what. Because at the end of the day, you can be the most beautiful person, but if your words and your intentions aren't beautiful, beauty's only going to fade.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you mentioned, you compare yourself to other people that you are not perfect enough. Something you like, you take time to love yourself. So, but there are many kids and people looking at you and they look like, oh, Sarah, she's beautiful, she's perfect, and they feel sad when they look at themselves. And what do you want to tell them about that?
I would just give them a hug, first of all, and I would just look at them and tell them that they are enough, that they are fully enough the way they are. And every one of us is different. That's our power. You don't want to be the same as somebody else because your imperfections and what makes you different is what makes you beautiful. It's what makes you stand out. And instead of trying to change those things about you, use them to your advantage. Fully accept them and embrace it because that's what makes you different and that could be your power. And it took me so long to figure this out. And it's such a different way of living when you're fully love yourself for the way you are and you fully accept yourself and you're not trying to change. It's a different energy, it's a different aura, and I hope that everyone can get to that place in their life where they fully accept themselves for who they are, because that's living. That is living, when you fully accept yourself and just know that everyone is beautiful in their own way. Like, everyone is unique and there's not one right way to look. I think that's really important. And as a title holder, I think it's important to show the days where I don't have makeup on, and it's important to post about the days where I'm having anxiety and I'm feeling anxious and I don't feel like working out, because that's normal, that's life, and nobody's perfect. Like, we all have those days, and I like to show those days on my social media, because I want people to know that most of the times people only post their good days on Instagram, or their perfectly posed photos that they probably took 100 different photos to get the good one. We both know that. I mean, you're a model. I saw your Instagram, so I'm sure you can relate to that. And I think it's really important to always embrace our individuality and know that your imperfections are what make you beautiful. So please, anybody, if you're watching this, just look yourself in the mirror and say, I am beautiful, I am enough, I am worthy, and don't feel like you need to change, because you are perfect the way you are.
Wow, that's so beautiful of you. So much. I heard, I'm listening to that too.
Yeah, we all need a reminder, no matter who you are, no matter if you're Miss Grand International or a little girl at home, we all need to hear that some days. And there's so much pressure on women and men, anybody, with social media. So if I'm lucky enough to have followers, I want to always promise myself, no matter what, that I'm showing them the bad days, and I'm showing them when I don't have all this makeup on, because that's life and that's normal, and nobody's perfect. Perfect's unattainable. Don't try to be perfect. Just try to be yourself.
That's true. So, everyone is unique on their own, and everyone's different. So here's the question. Maybe you need to take time a little bit, but who are you?
Sorry?
Who are you?
Who is Sarah? Sarah Winter is ambitious and determined and ready to work very hard. And if she is lucky enough to get the opportunity to be Miss Grand International, she is 100% prepared and up for the job and up for the task, and is willing to use her voice to stand up for people who feel like they can't stand up for themselves, or use her voice to start conversation about to stop the war or violence, or travel and work her hardest to make every place that she visits better than how she found it, and wants to just prove that you can achieve anything that you set your mind to, no matter what, no matter where you come from, no matter who you are. If you have a dream and you believe in your dream, you can achieve it. And that's what I stand for. That's what I represent. And I think everyone needs to be reminded of that sometimes.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So you said being unique, and then I got another things from you. You said is beauty is different. Like, everyone have their own different. How you're different from others people, like all around the world? How you're different?
So I actually have a really rare skin disease, and I'm not sure if you've heard it, but it's called vitiligo. Have you heard of it? So it only affects 0.02% of the world. So it's super rare, and there's actually no cure for it. And I used to cry every night about it. I used to be so insecure. It's where you get like little white spots on your skin, but some people have it very, very severe. And it's something that I don't really talk about, because I don't have it to the point where you can really see it, but I have it to the point where I know it's there. And it used to really affect my mental health, because like, why is this happening to me? Like, nobody's gonna like me if I look this way, if I look different. And I realized that that's what makes me unique. I was given this because whoever's up there knows that I can handle it. They know that I'm strong enough to use this to my advantage and talk about it and raise awareness. And that's why it's a situation that I have, and it makes me unique. I mean, only 0.02% of the world have it, so it's pretty cool.
It's so rare to have then. It's was most percent of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have you mean your health is not strong enough when you were young?
So no, and actually that's another reason why I don't really talk about it, because it doesn't affect your health. And I understand that people have it a lot worse. So it's something that, you know, I wake up every morning and I have my health. So that's something that I'm forever grateful for. And I know other people can't say that. Some people wake up and they don't have their health. So that's why I don't really talk about it, because I don't feel like I'm at a place where I can complain about it. I like to always look at the positive side of things. I think that's the only way you should try to live, is wake up every morning and choose happiness, and wake up every morning and be grateful for what you have. So I don't really talk about it or complain, because I always know that people have it worse. I have my health, I have my family, but there's no reason why it happens. And it's not like a genetic thing. It's nothing to do with your health. It came to me when I was 19. It happened in the middle of my life. So I don't know why it happened, and it's kind of gone. You can't really see it anymore, but I do have it, and it is what makes me unique. And I think it's important that I talk about it, because maybe somebody who's listening to this live also has it, and they're still at the point where they're trying to accept it, or they're not really sure. And now we can relate, and they can see that it didn't stop me from going after what I want. So it's always important to start conversation about these things.
Mm-hmm. So I want to actually, this question's come up to my mind. Let's go back to when you do modeling. Have you ever rejected from the job as a model?
Yes.
Why? What's the reason why?
I mean, you never really know. There could be a million reasons. It could be the smallest thing, like you walked in wrong, or, you know, that's just not what they were looking for that day. But I think that's what modeling teaches you, is you can't make everybody happy, and you're never going to make everybody happy. And not everyone is going to like you. That's just the way life goes. Unfortunately, you can be the best person in the world, but not everyone. Like, you could be the juiciest, ripest orange, but not everyone likes oranges. You know what I mean? So it's just, I think that's what modeling taught me, is, okay, I got rejected, but what did I learn from this? What is something that I can become a better person from this situation? And like I said before, I always try to look at the positive. So I personally think that you learn more from when you fail than when you succeed. And I failed way more times than I've ever succeeded. And each time I got knocked down, or each time I got rejected, I came back stronger, and I came back a better version of myself. And I think that's really important, that yes, it hurts in the moment that you didn't get the job, or you got told you needed to change something about your appearance. But just take a step back and ask yourself, okay, what did I learn from this? This is going to motivate me to become the best version of myself. And whether they like me or not, I wake up every morning and I love myself, and that's all that matters.
True. The matter is only we love ourselves. True. Mm-hmm. And we can please everyone and make everyone happy around us. The only way we can make ourselves happy. That's true. Yeah, actually, it's a really good things today for the interview. So I saw that you kind of mentions about your positive thinking persons.
Mm-hmm.
Before, you were positive thinking or not?
No, I definitely think it's something that I've learned to do in life. And I think it's something that I started meditating. I don't know if you meditate. And I like to look in the mirror, and I say what I'm grateful for. And I wake up every morning and I remember that it's another day that I'm blessed. So I can't waste it. And it's definitely something that I learned to do. I don't think anybody's just, well, we're all born loving. We're taught to hate. So I think that's important to know, that you're born loving, and hate comes as you get older. So that's another thing. But I think positivity just came as I learned to really accept myself. And as I grew up and matured, I realized that life goes by so fast. It really does. And you have to enjoy each day and not be scared to go after what you want, because it flies by. It just goes so fast. I just can't believe it how fast each year goes by as I get older. It stresses me out. So I like to just think that life's short and no one's guaranteed tomorrow. Nobody is. So we have to if you can choose to be happy and you can choose to be positive and you can choose to enjoy life, why wouldn't you? That's a blessing. That's something that you should always be grateful for.
So having positivity is one of the most important things in life for you. Can you tell us what is the worst situation that ever happened to your life that make you feel like completely like done?
So growing up, I had a really good childhood, but midway through, my mom actually struggled with substance abuse. So it's something that I had to deal with, and my parents separated because of it, and my mom wasn't in my life for over 10 years. So in those teen years when you're growing up and becoming a woman, I was raised by my dad, and I'm super grateful for my dad because we have a very, very strong relationship, and I wouldn't be where I am without him. He's amazing. But it was hard not having a mom in your life, and I know a lot of people could relate to this, and I know substance abuse is a huge issue, especially in Canada right now. We are going through an opioid crisis, and it's something that I actually advocate for. I advocate for addiction awareness. So, yes, I went through a heartbreak with my mom, and it was very hard on our family, and it was very hard as a young girl, but I use that, and now I use it to help others who may be going through the same thing. And like I said before, I took that happened to me. I took my hardship, I learned from it, and now I'm helping others, because that's, I feel like, my part of my journey. It's part of my purpose. And my mom and I actually rekindled last year, and she's better, she's clean, she's healthy, and she wasn't in my life for a really long time, but she is now, and she overcame it, and our family overcame it, and now it's my turn to help others. It's my turn to start the conversation about it and know that this is a common thing, this is happening, and if it is happening to you or somebody you know, I'm always here for anybody to talk to, and I'm trying to help find resources for this, and I'm doing all I can to help others. So I think that's really important.
So parents divorcing, actually, it's in this generation, let's say in this times of the world, there are many parents, they are divorced. My parents too.
Okay.
So, but I live both for both of them. Like Monday to Friday, I live with my dad, and weekend I live with my mom. So, but there's many kids in the world. When parents divorce, they get upset and mad, or even hate the one that left. What do you think about that? Do you think it's their fault or not that they left?
That it's the parents' fault, or?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because there's so many different situations that could have happened, and I think it's so normal for a kid to feel hurt and feel like they don't fully understand the situation, and their parents might not be telling them the whole extent of the situation to protect them, because I know that's what my dad did at the time. But I think it's important that these kids talk to a therapist or seek somebody to talk to. That's something that I did when I was going through it, is I talked to a therapist, and it really helped. So I think people should be aware that that's always an option for them, and I think it just starts with talking about it, making sure that these kids know that they have somebody to talk to, and that both of their parents love them so much. It's never about love, but sometimes parents fall out of love, or the situation just isn't right anymore, and it breaks my heart that the kids blame themselves, because it's never ever ever their fault. It's just, unfortunately, life. People fall in and out of love, and there's other situations that could happen, but I hope if anybody's watching this that they can always talk to me, or there's so many places where they can seek help.
It's okay.
And it's really important because it is sad. I don't know if you felt that way, but I remember feeling that way when I was young, like
Me
especially
too.
yeah, it depends how old you are, I think too. Like if you don't really understand, you automatically just think, oh my gosh, like what did I do?
I was 12 when my parents divorced, so I'm kind of like I'm growing up at that time. I was growing up at that time, but I didn't have opportunity to talk with therapists, which is bad, I think. But for some country like okay, let's say Thailand, but in the old time, we feel like talking to therapists, that person is kind of psycho, you kind of like crazy or something. Do you think that's true, or what? For me, I think that's wrong. Talking to therapists is kind of normal and like life concept, and make me understand about life more. But there are many people understand on that way that talking to therapists, you're a psycho, you're a psychopath, you're crazy. What do you think about that?
I think that's the stigma with it. And I think it's important that we break that stereotype and we make people aware that it's okay to seek help. It's okay to talk about your problems. It's okay that something's happening to you and you're feeling hurt, or you're feeling heartbreak, or you're feeling sad. It's okay to feel these emotions. And I would tell them, please know that it's normal. This doesn't make you weird. This doesn't make you different. It makes you a human being, and it makes you capable of having emotions. And if you have an opportunity to talk to someone to get over those emotions and to move past it and grow from it and learn from it, please take that option, because it's only going to haunt you when you're older. And I would just tell them that yes, not everyone's parents goes through this, or not everyone seeks help with therapists, but it doesn't make you any less normal.
True.
It just makes you a human being.
So okay, so far at the first 42 minutes, we've been talking about things about blah blah blah. Focus on your spot. I follow your Instagram, and we know that you're spot golf professional, right? We call it that. Okay, so I'm curious in sport industry, when you join the competitions, sometimes was it ever happen to you, like being woman, people think that you have less potential to win than men?
I mean, absolutely. I think people are going to look at you, and here's the thing. Sometimes I go to a golf course and people think because of the way I look, I don't know how to play golf.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
there's the first thing that's wrong with that sport right there. I'll tell you that's happened to me several times. And I'll also tell you that I've hit the ball a lot of times and people have been surprised. People would literally open their mouth and been like,
she really did that.
Like, couldn't believe that I just hit a
She's
ball.
lit.
Or they'll be like, the women's tees are up there, and I'm like, no, I'll hit from back here with you and I'll still beat you.
Wow. Imagine like some people are just like, oh, she's too beautiful, she's not gonna take any, like, but then you're hit and it, okay,
yeah,
he's
so
good.
I definitely agree with you that yes, that happens, and yes, golf is a male dominated sport, and as a woman in the golf industry, I need to keep growing the game and get more women involved and break that stereotype, break that stigma, because women and men, we're all capable of the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, we can do the exact same thing because we're both human beings, we're equal. And that's something that in 2021, it's just, we need to always fight for equality and always know that it does not matter what gender you are. You can do anything.
No matter what, listen, people, no matter what gender you are, you can do everything.
You can do anything.
Yeah, true. So, okay, so you have experience about men's and women. They, people see, there's a man and there's you, that's a woman. People see both of you like in different things that you can do. So except sport, is anything else that you think we need to aware of women's right? Women's right to be equal with.
Sorry, you cut off a little bit at the end. What was the last? So you said what women and men, what else they can do? Was that the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Like what else is the problem with equality?
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
for men and women or yet in this too.
Yeah, I think we've come a long way. Women equality, I think we've really, really, really made progress, especially in the last couple of years. I think we've gotten to a point where we're equally respected, and I don't think that we've reached full equality, though. I think it's something that we definitely need to continue to fight for, because yes, in Canada we've come a very long way, but like you said, there's other parts of the world that haven't, and there's other parts in the world where maybe women aren't taken as seriously or they have the same rights. So yes, in Canada we've come a really long way, but I understand that that's not like the case for everywhere, and I think I will continue to start conversation about it, because I mean, it's 2021. Equality should just be, it shouldn't even be a question anymore. We shouldn't even have to talk about it. It should just be men and women are equal. Like, we're both humans. It's not even up for debate.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's a comment from Jikash. He said in Canada, men and women are quite equal, and Canadians are shy and friendly. So I do believe there's some country like women still have less equality to do than men, like driving or in sport or something. How Canada is different? What Canada have come so far? You said Canada have come so far. So what do you like? Is how Canada different from other country?
I think Canada has always been known to be, we kind of talked about this, very accepting, and no matter where you come from in the world, you immigrant or no matter what religion you believe in, you're always welcome here. And I think that's the first thing that other countries can learn from Canada is to accept others no matter what, and having a diverse population. I think that's what makes the world, that's what brings us together, all our different cultures and all of our different beliefs. And in Canada we've done a really good job at that. And as a woman, I've always felt in Canada that I didn't have a limitation when it came to my education or when it came to jobs, or when it came, well, with golf it's a little bit male dominated, but I still felt like I had the opportunity and the dream to go after it, and I did. And I think that's the first thing, is just teaching young women to use their voice and to stand up for what they believe in, and to make them understand that they have the option, that they can do the same as men. And I think that's the first thing that we have to do, is make sure that they know that they have that right, that they can do it, and then from there take the further steps to what they want to do.
So you say we have options to choose or to do things in life. What do you see yourself in next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I hope to still be golfing, hopefully playing well and winning some tournaments. I hope to continue my clothing line. I started a clothing line last year, and it's something that I feel very passionate about. I donate portions of the proceeds to different charities, and it's just a really, really fun experience for me. I've always loved fashion. I hope to still be advocating for addiction awareness and still talking at elementary schools. And I hope to be a former Miss Grand International, and hopefully still maybe still in Thailand, who knows.
Oh yeah, she is.
I love Thailand so much. I'm so excited.
So you know, if you win Miss Grand International, you have to complete the duty 1 year in Thailand. Can you stay in Thailand for 1 year?
Yes, I can stay there for 1 year. Absolutely. I am so ready. I'm so ready. If I had to.
She's ready to take off Miss Grand in 2020. Okay, here's the question from Imal Dilal. He asked you what makes you want to be next Miss Grand International.
What makes me want to be the next Miss Grand International? I think the first thing is just having that platform and working with an organization that seems amazing and incredible and so professional, and a family that I want to be a part of that makes me strive to be the best version of myself and travel the world and work so hard and make an impact. That's why I want to be the next Miss Grand International is I'm ready and I'm prepared, and if I had to move to Thailand tomorrow, I would, and I wouldn't
Wow.
even hesitate. I would just go.
So he was asking, what make you want to be? But I will ask you, why should you become Miss Grand International?
I think that it's wrong of me to say that I deserve it more, because every one of us that are competing deserve it, and I'm sure we all want it a lot. And it's one girl's destiny. It's one girl's purpose. Only one girl can win at the end of the day, and I really feel like it's part of my purpose and part of my journey, and I feel like I have a lot to offer, and I have a platform that I'm already working with, so it would only continue to grow and it would only continue to get bigger. And I feel like my intentions are very pure and my heart is very pure, and I honestly just want to help make the world a better place. And if I had that opportunity, if I have that chance, I'm 100% going to take it. And that's what Miss Grand International offers. It offers you a chance and an opportunity to make the world a better place. Bring positivity in the world, explore cultures, travel the world for a year. I'm so ready. I would be so honored to do that. And it's one of the best pageants in the world. It would be like the biggest dream come true ever.
Okay, so here is we're going to the last question before we end the interview. So everyone, ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Grand Canada 2020, Sarah, and she's really beautiful. She's a sport professional, golf professional. So the last question before we going to end the interview. You said you want to make the world be a better place to live in, because if you want Miss Grand International, so next, how you make the world be a better place to live in?
I think it would start with using my voice and starting conversations about issues that are happening, and using my voice to give people hope and help people find their purpose and find their passions, and use my voice to stand up if people feel like they can't stand up themselves, and always help people. These are all things that I want to do, and I want to do if I win.
Okay. Actually, there's come up with one question more, so I'm gonna ask you then. If you're two last standing announcement winner Miss Grand International, who do you want to last standing together, and why?
Ooh, that would be amazing if I was the last two standing, and I would be honored to stand amongst any of those women. They all seem so amazing and confident and beautiful and intelligent, but the one that I did a live with was Panama. It's the only contestant that I've met, so I'd have to say her, considering I haven't talked to any of them. But it would be an honor to stand beside any of those women. They all seem really incredible.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for coming and join our interview tonight from Thailand and from Miss Grand Canada 2020. So please keep up and following her, and please follow her Instagram to see and catch up the news. And we hope to see you real fast in Miss Grand Thailand.
And goodbye me is Kang Kuka. Is that?
ขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you so much for having me.
I've been practicing. Bye.